Namaste, Soul Family, Soul Tribe, okay, Sky Goddess, of course. And this is like a motivational inspiration inspirational video. Okay, so people, they always want to, know the recipe, the process to be successful, to, you know, be high achiever. And when I say high achiever, I'm not talking about the school you went to, the university you went to. I'm not talking about whether or not you did attend university. I'm not talking about um, accolades in terms of whether you were valedictorian, if you're, graduating university class, or your high school class, or them stuff, or you got trophies. I'm not talking about those stuff, because at the end of the day, if you are observant any at all, where the 3D experience is concerned, you would see that a lot of times it's not the ones who was a valedictorian, who did the big speech on graduation day, who attended the most prestigious high schools or universities. It's not these ones who are like the Elon Musk. I'm gonna just say that, of society. And Elon Musk he's smart. He's intelligent. He's got a high IQ. But what I'm trying to say is at the end of the day, is pretty much your tenacity and your perspective on life. Because of course, Elon Musk, he did well at school, so did Steve Jobs, so did Bill Gates. Okay, but at the end of the day, it ain't the university that they attended that made them who they are today, because they still had to fought through hell and high waters to get to where they are at right now. If you listen to a lot of you know these inspirational men, their experiences, you'd be like, oh, you thought it would be easier because they attended a certain school, university, they were in a certain field, they were in, they were like, they came from a certain family. No, at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with the family you come from. Like I said, the university you attended, your accolades and certain stuff. Being a teenager, being, a young adult, it's just so, being a preteen, the experiences are so much more different than you stepping into your North Node, you after you've had your Saturn return. Okay, it's different energies, man. And so sometimes people are like, you were like this, you seem so promising, what happened? Life is what happened. How is this? You feel me? And so you got, at the end of the day, it, like I said, it's not those, pre Saturn return experiences that makes us stop achievers. It's, you know how well we learn or have learned from those Saturn experiences, those Saturn lessons, having our Saturn return, how well we boogie through life. And when I say boogie, it's not, breezing through life, although that can be used as an analogy, but not really to say how easy we take on life, but it's how we view life and how we really perceive obstacles. Do we perceive them? Do you perceive them as a point of discouragement, or do you perceive them as a stopping point? Like, okay, I'm not gonna do anymore. And I was like saying, I'm trying to remember which reading I was doing yesterday, when which I actually regurgitated this phrase, which is very inspirational. Lord grant me, just paraphrasing that phrase. It's more like a gem. Very important. Gems are very precious, okay? A gem don't necessarily got to be a precious stone. It can be a precious poem, or a precious song, but something that is inspirational. This video can be your gem, can be a gem to you. But Lord, or Great Spirit, or universe, whoever you have as, your divine source of inspiration, please grant me the courage to change the things that I can change, okay? The serenity to accept the things that I cannot, which is that peace of mind, that acceptance, okay? Because acceptance at the end of the day is the only way to be free. And please bless me and grant me the wisdom to know the difference, because there's some things that we waste our time on and effort on, and energies on, that are unchangeable. We just cannot change them. It's just the way they are. Like, for example, people. Like, how the hell are you going to change somebody? Damn. That's a whole different body from your body. You feel what I'm trying to say? And so a lot of times, not just, yeah, well, people, that's like a major one. Like your kids, your man, your woman, your husband, your wife, your friends, your associates. How the hell are you going to change people? It's so hard for us to change ourselves. Much less to change somebody who's a completely different entity and body, of energy from ourselves. We don't know what they're doing when we are on our own, and there's no way we can devote our lives to watching them 24/7 unless you decide that you don't want to be among the greats and you don't want to achieve anything for yourself. So you see how focusing on other people distract you from being a high achiever. Okay? So it's important to first and foremost gain wisdom. Okay, so we can know what's changeable and what's unchangeable, what's inevitable, what we should just walk away from and leave them alone, leave it alone, leave him or her alone, let it be, leave that situation alone and let it be. Okay, because ain't nothing we can do about it. Okay, and so you find that, okay, when you got the wisdom, when something's changeable, you don't waste your time or energy or frequencies on that. Okay, and then you find now the ones that you can change now, then now you got to focus on mustering up the courage to tackle those issues head on or foot on, however you is best for you to tackle them. And that's wisdom. Wisdom is perspective, a good perspective, good vantage point. So this video is titled Perspectives, because that's pretty much what's gonna aid you in boogieing through life. So what differentiates the high achievers from, people who are not high achievers? Because I don't want to call anybody a low achiever or a no achiever. No. We achieve something in some way, shape, or form, as minute as they may be or seem. So high achievers, okay, there is a shift in perspective. It's a difference in perspective, how they perceive life, how they perceive, how they deal with individual situations, how they deal with obstacles, how they deal with things that are not really obstacles, and how they just pretty much deal with people and how they deal with themselves. All of that is perspective. I just gave you my perspective on life. It don't make sense to try to change the things that are unchangeable. That's a good perspective to have. Why are you gonna? It's a waste of time. Doesn't it make sense? Like, there are some things that are unchangeable, and you have to admit that. We have to admit that. And once we admit that, yes, there are things that are unchangeable, that will inevitably happen, regardless of how we try to thwart them or to change their course of direction. Once we accept that, then we can try to sort through our lives and things that comes our way, okay, as sort through them and try to be organized. But that also is perspective. Do you value organization? You better, because it's going to aid you in boogieing through life. So it can make your travel through life much easier. Okay, that is perspective. Having a perspective of valuing organization, because it does make your transit through life a bit easier. Not saying it makes your transit easy, but it makes it easier, less of a hassle, because when you organize now, you can see a clear that you have a clear direction, you have clear passage to go forward or to turn left or right. You know what's ahead of you, and you know the moves to make in good timing. Okay? And so when you organize into, okay, I'm structuring shit that is like unchangeable from things that are changeable in regards to my life purpose and my passion here. Okay, 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 that's, or in general, whether that's family, that's your love life, your relationships, your associations, your like friendships, your colleagues, your business ideas, business strategies and stuff like that. And so you structure those things, you structure them. Okay, so that situation I can do nothing about. I cannot change that situation. Okay, you're over there, which means I'm gonna leave you alone and let nature take its course where you're concerned. The things that are changeable here now, okay, I'm gonna tackle them stuff. I'm gonna tackle them head on. I'm gonna tackle them, and I'm gonna, I'm gonna sit here, and now it's time to put on the deeper thinking cap and start to, decipher how am I going to muster up the courage, and what level of courage do I need to deal with that situation. Is it a gentle form of courage, like, telling someone the truth but in a really soft way, or is this to stand firm in your power and tell someone to leave you the hell alone, or tell someone that they need to do shit or stop doing shit? Okay, so yeah, so perspective. So it's really perspectives, because if you listen to a lot of those business um, and entrepreneurial magazines, they have a tendency to interview, like, the greats. I'm gonna call them the greats, like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, those guys, because, and not just them, but so many others, who have, achieved a lot, high achievers, and they do that because they want an inside view. They want to understand, their perspective on life, because they know it is one's perspective that really affects whether they succeed, yes or no. It's not if you're homeless. It's not if you came from a poor socioeconomic background. It's not, whether or not you came from the Caribbeans or the United States or, the UK or, the Middle East. It has nothing to do with if you're from a first or third world country, okay, or a developing nation. It has nothing to do with that. Whether or not you become a billionaire or a trillionaire or a millionaire, or you end up, in the Forbes, list of most influential or most successful, or wealthiest people, that don't got nothing to do with it. It's your perspective on life. So, I know that you've gained some insights here. I know you've learned something here, because now it's time to think. And I've noticed that thinking is like a horror for a lot of people. Now, if you're one of them people, then that means you need to shift your perspective where thinking is concerned, and start to think away. Namaste.